Welcome to my channel. This is the continuation of the STAAD Pro series. Today we are going to cover the grid tool in STAAD Pro. Let's discuss about the grid tool in STAAD Pro. Grid tool is mainly used to provide a construction grid which can then be used to easily draw beams, plates or solid elements. Only one grid may be displayed at a time. To access from the STAAD Pro software, go to Geometry, then click Snap or Grid node. You can see either beam or plates or solids. After clicking that, you will see like this. Snap node beam. This is a default grid which is linear and there are so many options are there. Here you can see first one is grid list. Grid list, which means it lists all grid definitions in the current STAAD Pro project. The grid which is set to active has a check before its name. Here comes all types of grids will be listed out here. The first option is create. Opens the grid creation method pop-up dialog, which can be used to define either linear or radial or irregular grid pattern. This is edit option. When a grid definition is selected in the grid list, clicking the edit button opens the grid creation method pop-up dialog for editing the definition. This is delete option. Delete a specified grid definition. Copy option is for which is used to create a duplicate of the selected grid. Type the new grid name and click OK. Rename opens the provide modified grid name dialog, which is used to rename the selected grid. Import, which means we can import. There are import two types of files. One is DX file or STAAD Pro grid files, which is one of the extension. Okay, let's go for the STAAD Pro software. I'm selecting STAAD Pro revision file. They are asking the current input unit. I select meter and kilonewton. Okay. Okay. As the step says, go to Geometry, Snap or Grid node. You can see beam, plate, solid. I'm going to select beam. There you can see the dialog box, snap node or beam. The options are there. This is the grid list. Create, edit, delete, copy, rename, import, active grid label setup. And this is the linear is the default one. That's why it came. Okay, this is the default one. To add new one, click create. You can see the linear and at the drop down list you can see radial and irregular. In linear, this is a tick mark in the grid, linear grid. So we can say we want to give a name. This is linear. So linear grid. This is the plane. We want to choose which plane you want to model. This is in now this figure or the grid lines in XY plane. If I want in X is the direction, we can opt this. And if I want Y is the plane, we can select this. Okay, for that we want to tick this option, and for editing purpose we want to select this one. The same dialog box will appear only for linear one. So we named it as a linear. So plane, if we select XY plane, it shows like this. If it is XZ, it looks like this. If it is YZ, it's like this. This is angle of plane, which means at this plane we can suggest any angle. Angle of plane means choose one of the three options XX, YY or ZZ and provide the angle of rotation in degrees of grid plane about that axis. If I select XY plane and the axis of plane is XX, which means the X axis will be tilted to some 30 degree. We can see like this. From X axis it tilted at 30 degree. If it is Y axis, if it is Z axis, it should like this. For Y axis, it looks like this. Y axis we can't say because it is in a vertical itself, that's why. Next option is, so actually we don't need the angle of plane, it remains as 0 degree. Okay, next is the grid origin. Grid origin is to specify the grid origin by entering the X, Y and Z coordinates, or use the node select tool to select the existing node to define the origin. We can specify the origin. Now it is defaulted as 0, 0, 0, x0, y0, z0. I can change it to 1, y1, z1. You can see 0 is gone and the origin is at 1 point, that is x, y, z is equal to 1, 1, 1. Either we can choose this node tool to select the point, if there is any node is there. Okay. Next is for the construction lines. Construction line is the lines passes through these points or making grid lines. Construction lines specify the spacing between the intersections and number of intersections or bays along the corresponding plane, which means towards the left. This is towards the right. Now the grid origin can be changed to 0. That is better for understanding. 0, 0, 0. Okay. Only X and Y direction is there. So because we select XY plane, that's why the construction line passes through only X and Y direction. If it is XZ, it changes to X and Z. If it is YZ, it changes to Y and Z. Then go for XY. Towards the right, it is 10 spaces are there and its meter is 1 meter, and towards the left is 0. If I give 5 the value, we can see -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Similarly towards Y axis, I give 5. You can see -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, and I already give the 0 as the origin. That's why this is the origin point. Then skew, which means the construction line angle. We can provide some angle for the construction line. It looks like this. If it is 90 degree, it look like this. 45. This is 0. From X axis it is 45. Y axis is 0. This is all about the linear grid. Then Then we will go for another one, radial. For that, click create, select radial, provide a name, radial, click OK. Then select this radial, then give edit, radial. The plane is nowadays defaulted as XY. I can select XZ, it look like this, YZ, it look like this. Similarly, same came for linear, angle of plane, X for X towards XX, YY and ZZ, I can provide an angle. Now go for XY and I am taking front derivation. Then same as linear, grid origin is set 0, 0, 0, that is x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, z is equal to 0, which look like this. If I change this to 1, it look like there is no 0 point. Okay, then discuss about the construction lines. These are the construction lines. Start angle is 0. Now the center angle is the 0. Center angle is 0. And I provided the sweep angle as 360 degree. Which means this is 0 degree. The sweep angle I provided defaulted as 360 degree. And I can change to 180. Then it look like this. From 0 degree to 180 degree. Base means how many spaces are provided between these construction lines. Now it is 10, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I need 20, I can provide 20 construction spaces are between the construction lines. If I need only 5, just type 5. It look like this. It is 10. It's look like this. And this is about radius 1 and radius 2 is about. Here there is no radius 1 because radius 1 is 0 itself and radius 2 is 120 meter. You see 120th meter. If I put value as 10 for radius 1, you can see, and sweep angle I provided as 180. Okay, let's look at this. First radius is 10 and the radius 2 is 120. I can change it to 100. It look like this. And the base, the second base means the construction lines along this sweep area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are there. I can change it to 10 or whatever value I need, I can enter. And this is all about the radial grid. The other option is the irregular one. For that, click create option, select irregular, suggest the name, I give it as irregular. Click OK. Before that, I want to specify the origin. It is at a 0, 0, 0. I can change to 1, 1, 1 or any values you need. Then now it is in XY plane. I can change to XZ, XY. It is similar to the every grid. And this is relative grid line distance. Here you can see now you can see the construction line. For that it is provided YZ. If I select XY, changes to XY here also. and I put as 100. Only the grid distance will be shown here. Similarly, I can change to XZ and YZ. Click OK. If I select irregular, I can see like this. Origin is 0, 0, 0. The grid distance is 100. Towards the Y also 100. If I need to edit this, click edit option. I can change this line to 200, 150. It looks like this. If I need XZ plane, it look like this. If I need YZ plane, it likes this. Here comes the end of the video. Please subscribe to my channel for the latest updates.